Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for being here today. Today's video, I want to talk about your personal brand. Now, I know what you're thinking. A brand is composed of colors, logo, fonts, your overall aesthetic on social media, and all of that is true, and we will talk a little bit about that. But what I want to talk more about today is how your personal brand translates in real life and in real life interactions with your consumers. So buckle in, have a swig of coffee, I know I need to, and let's get started. So when it comes to a personal brand, there are a couple things that you need to be mindful of. Again, colors, fonts, consistency. If someone is typing in the social media handle that they're used to seeing on Instagram, trying to find you on Twitter or on Facebook or YouTube, ideally they'll be able to find you. Now, here's the catch. It can be really easy to want to have custom handles depending on where you are. And I know for me personally, The Social Factory, point blank, The Social Factory was taken on Instagram, but maybe was available on YouTube. Now, if I want people to be able to find me, ideally I'm keeping that consistent across the board, which means that I am ensuring that my handle matches on Instagram at thesocialfactory.ca and is the same username on Facebook at thesocialfactory.ca. So even though it might not be the ideal handle that I would have wanted for The Social Factory, I'm ensuring its consistency across all platforms to make it really easy for potential audiences to find me on multiple social media platforms. So consistency is so important, whether it's your profile picture or your handle. I am a big believer that your social platforms should have the same profile across all of your channels. And the reason again for that is being easily identifiable by the people who are trying to find you. If you have followers who are so friggin' enthused by you and what you do that they want to find you on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, make it easy for them. Make it super obvious that like, I'm here, this is me, like they'll recognize the profile picture, and it just makes it a lot easier for your consumers to continue to support you on multiple platforms. In addition to being consistent, it's really important that you understand how people perceive your brand. Think about what people talk about when they talk about you, when they talk about your business. Are they talking about the right things, the things that you want them to be talking about? Write down a list right now. Pull out your pen and paper, pull out your notes on your phone. Write down the things that you want other people to talk about when they are talking about you and your business and your brand. That is a really great indication of how people are not only perceiving you online, but in person and in their interactions. Word of mouth is still the largest advertising platform that we have available to us, and referrals are so important. So make sure that the referrals that are being spoken of are the ones that you want. Make sure that people recognize what you're trying to put out there and that they're receiving it, and that they are also conveying that when they're having conversations about your business and about your brand. If you want people to recognize that you're creative, that you are really easy to work with and can interpret ideas and put them into action, that all has to be articulated in some way. It's one thing to be able to say that that's what you do, and it's another thing to be able to show it, and show it enough that people associate you with that, and that is how they will continue to talk about you to their friends, to their family, to their other business connections. Another thing that's really important to consider is your brand goes far beyond social media. We are talking about your in-person interactions, your customer service. Think about the impressions that you're leaving on people. For me, I really pride myself in the fact that I try to be upbeat and positive and enthusiastic and authentic to who I am. And I really, really try hard to ensure that that's articulated through social media, but also in my in-person interactions. Now, as a creative, I find that I can get away with a couple more things maybe than people working in a corporate kind of environment. So for me, I like going with fun hair and a denim jacket that has my logo branded on it. I love going with a fun, bold lipstick color. All of that to me is part of not just who I am as a person, but also my personal brand. So it's really important to ensure that your branding goes way beyond just what people can find online about you and your business. Another thing to consider when talking about your personal brand is, are you being found online? Are you being found under the terms that you actually want to be found under? SEO is so important, and I'll be sure to do another video that is really thoroughly discussing SEO because it's definitely still something that's mysterious for a lot of people. SEO stands for search engine optimization, which essentially means that your website is showing up when people are typing in keywords that are related to the service or the product that you're offering. So you really want to ensure that your keywords are up to par, that you know your audience and what they're looking for when it comes to searching on Google or on Facebook. And you need that to be articulated through your website in a variety of different ways. Again, it's a little bit too much to get into in this video, but I will be sure to do another video on that in the future. Another thing to consider when it comes to your personal brand is that you are focusing on your target audience and therefore building your brand where they can find you. Think about who your target audience is. I did a little bit of a video on this, which I'll link up here, but think of who they are. Are they women aged 25 to 34? If so, they're probably on Instagram. If you're offering an interior design kind of business, they're probably on Pinterest. If you're catering to an older demographic, then they're probably on Facebook. And it's really important that you spend the time to grow the communities where they are. There's no point in trying to continue to build a brand in a space that doesn't cater to your target audience. So ensure that you're really working to cultivate and nurture the relationships in the social media areas that really speak to your target audience. It's much better to have fewer platforms that are more catered to your target audience than to spread yourself too thin across multiple platforms just to increase a following. And the thing about having multiple platforms too, which a lot of people do not like to hear, is it's important to ensure that you're not just toggling on the auto post and posting automatically from Instagram to Facebook, for example. Now, the reason for that is because if you have a following on Instagram, if you serve a few different demographics, you're not really encouraging anyone to follow you on Facebook if they can get the same information on Instagram, or vice versa. If I can go to your Facebook and see everything I need to see, why would I follow you to see duplicate content on Instagram? Chances are I wouldn't. So be really mindful about what it is you're putting out there that represents your brand on different platforms. Tailor it to the platform that you're posting it to. For example, Facebook is really great for sharing news and blogs and industry news and tips and getting a little bit more lengthy, whereas Instagram is really great for visual, for aesthetics, and that's a really great area to kind of showcase the aesthetics, the color palette, and everything else that you worked really hard on to articulate this physical interpretation of what your brand is. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. I hope this has provided some tips to help you create a strong brand moving forward with your business. If you have any questions, comment them down below. Be sure to subscribe and turn on your post notifications, and I will see you next time. Bye! Gas guy just walked by to take the reading on our meter. Okay. Momentary pause for the FedEx driver at my door. Okay. Surprised that Jack's not barking. Where were we? Okay. Off to a good start.